Hi, this is Ilma Art Studio's photograph for today. It's a church in Orangeville. Very historic church here. Hi, this is Ilma from Ilma Art Studio. And I'd like to invite you to check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Today I'd like to share with you my poem devotional extracted from Isaiah 50 verse 11. It says, "But watch out, you who live in your own light and warm yourselves by your own fires. This is a reward you will receive from me. You will soon fall down in great torment." That's Isaiah 50 verse 11. Here's my poem. Consequences of self-reliance. Do you think that you can live on your own? Have you reaped the harvest of what you've sown? Watch out if you live in your own light. It will soon be extinguished and be out of sight. If you think that you can live without God's insights, you will fall in great torment and will never be right. The consequences of self-reliance is damaging. It leads to sin. Hearts are constantly hardening. Here's my essay. I have lived so many years of my life being independent and self-sufficient. I took pride in individuality and not asking help. I thought that it was a good thing to owe nothing to anyone. I was made to believe that successful people never depended on anyone but themselves. Self-reliance is a concept generated by this materialistic world. In God's economy, the opposite of independence is what God requires from us. He wants us to be in total dependence on Him for everything, just like an infant or a child would be to their parents. The Bible warns those who live in their own light. The consequences of self-reliance is fatal and destructive to the hearts and minds of believers. It hardens the heart. Prayer. Lord, keep me focused on your light alone. Reflection. How can a believer practice total dependence on God? I know to live in this world is really very hard to be dependent on God. But if we will only depend on God on anything, on everything, just like like children depend on their parents when they were little and they can't do anything but depend on them, then we are going to be able to allow God to do what needs to be done in our lives. Total dependence on God can also be practiced by always relying on the words that He says to us, especially in the Bible, because it's only in the Bible that we can know the truth, and the truth usually sets us free. And when we practice dependence on God, no matter what the lies of the enemy will give us to us, those lies will always be exposed and will be in the light. And the enemy uses the self and propagating the self, being self-righteous, being self-centered. Anything to do with the self is not from God, it's from the enemy. Because God wants us to depend on Him totally on anything. And if we depend on Him, that means that we trust Him and we believe Him, just like little children trust and believe their parents. So no matter what their parents do, they trust and believe them. So it's really important that we are able to know the will of God. When we know the will of God and we obey the will of God, then we can easily be able to rely on Him and know that what we are relying on is stable and true. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you heed the advice about people who totally are independent of God. You know, it's important that you are dependent on God, because only in that will you reap a harvest of blessings and a harvest of promises that He has given you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you check my website at ilmaarts.com for more artworks and photographs. Have a wonderful and blessed day.